Blog Talk Radio.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
Ayo, Bo knows this,
What?
and Bo knows that,
What?
but Bo don't know Jack, cause Bo can't rap. Well, what do you?
What is going on, everybody? You're tuning in to CT Radio with Nick Gill. I'm your host, Nick Gill, if you haven't figured it out already. All right. Doing a little bit something new today. Gonna throw in a little NBA news and thoughts about what's going on with the NBA. Usually I do a lot of NFL, but I'm trying to reach everybody. Trying to reach out to everybody. There's a lot of NBA fans, including myself. I'm not just an NFL fan. I enjoy the NBA as much as the next man. And a lot of you guys already know, being a Lakers fan, now being tied in the history of NBA championships with the Celtics, next year should bring that next title, and then I'll be all set. Been a little bit spoiled as a Lakers fan over the years. Can't say that much about the Chicago Bears, but Lakers fans overall should be proud of what's going on there in LA. A lot of different moves. A lot of different free agencies, moves, and trades going on in the NBA. Obviously, they're going to be affected by COVID. We'll see how that shapes up. If they're thinking about talking about playing regional. So the California teams, if they're scheduled against another California team, they all play in the same arena for that area of the country, which is a pretty good idea. Obviously, everybody can't wait till we get back to having fans in the crowd. I'm sure the players can't wait for that either. But that sounds like a pretty decent plan for now. And I'll just start with the Lakers. I'll go with the Lakers. We all know they made huge moves. They've gotten better, not worse. I feel like it's addition by subtraction. Obviously, they re-signed the two biggest stars, LeBron and Anthony Davis. So that's, that pretty much is going to seal the deal for the next couple of years. We'll still be contenders. LeBron still looks like he's in his prime. Obviously, Anthony Davis is in his prime as well. Also acquiring Marc Gasol, former defensive player of the year, definitely has the ability to stretch the floor, shoot the three. That's a good addition. That's going to help out in the rotation. Montrezl Harrell, we already know, sixth man of the year, struggled a little bit in the bubble, but we know what kind of player you get in Montrezl Harrell. So that shouldn't be a problem. Then we got a 3-and-D guy, Wesley Matthews. Can shoot the three, play D on the other end. That's huge. You could never have too many shooters, and he's a good one. So he's definitely going to help spread the floor for penetration for LeBron James, where he can either dish or finish it. We got rid of some guys though, some key guys. We did. We got rid of playoff Rondo, but we didn't get rid of him. He signed with someone else. So that hurts. But we got Caruso, the Caruso show out there. He showed he can play at big moments. Very athletic point guard. So, we should do okay. And of course, we should be all right there. And we also left out JaVale McGee and Howard. Now they left. Now that's some rim protection that we will be missing. But from what I'm hearing, Pau Gasol might come out of retirement. Now, Lakers fan, you know what Pau Gasol means to the Laker Nation. If Pau Gasol comes out of retirement and plays with his brother, that'll be one hell of a story. I don't know how much he's going to contribute, but, that'll be a cool enough story there. And, of course, we lost A.B. Bradley. He wasn't in the bubble for personal reasons last year. We lost him. Pretty good guy. We got Dennis Schroeder, too, also. I forgot to throw him in. Dennis Schroeder. He's in there. He's an athletic point guard. He's a playmaker at the point guard position. So, like I said, there's addition by subtraction. We still look good on paper. We'll see how it all comes together. I'm sure we have no problems. I'm gonna say the Lakers are my favorite to repeat next year. And losing a couple players, that happens. Dwight Howard actually signed with the 76ers. That, I feel, is a good pickup for the 76ers. That's not a bad pickup. They could use another big man down there. Let's see if they can put that team together. Who knows? Who knows what's going to go on in Philly? And JaVale McGee wound up going to the Cavs. Cavs are going to, the Cavs are going to be the Cavs. I'm not going to really stay on that topic too much. They also lost Tristan Thompson and Zizic. So, and they lost Dellavedova. So, I mean, not huge contributors, not all stars, but they couldn't lose anybody. Cavs can't afford to lose anybody. Drew Holiday going to the Bucks. Okay, that's huge for Antetokounmpo. That's huge for Giannis because one thing they were lacking, and I seen in the bubble, was a shooting, playmaking point guard. Bledsoe was not that. Bledsoe was athletic, but he wasn't the playmaker and the shooter that they needed on their team. So they add another shooter. Drew Holiday is a true point guard, true playmaker. I think that really puts the Bucks up there, probably at the Eastern Conference Finals, maybe even a championship. I think that's really going to help Giannis. And Bledsoe winds up going to the Pelicans along with George Hill. So, I mean, the Pelicans, you know what they have. You know they're a good upcoming team. They didn't really look that good in the bubble either, but they got Zion. They had Eric Bledsoe. They had George Hill. George Hill's another good quality point guard backup. So, who knows? I'm pretty excited about the NBA season coming up. So, and then, Giannis, Defensive Player of the Year, 2-time MVP. Obviously, we all thought, no, you could have gave LeBron the MVP. That's like the Michael Jordan thing. You could have gave Michael Jordan the MVP every year he played. Obviously, besides the years with the Wizards, but that's a story for another day. So, again, LeBron's going to have something, he always got that chip on his shoulder. Oh, yeah, I'm not the MVP. You guys don't see me as the MVP? Watch this. And they got the basement dwellers in the same building, the Clippers, who everybody thought. I led one of my shows with this little clip about everybody giving the Clippers the upper hand on the Lakers. Oh, they can't handle their bench. The Clippers are road dogs, blah, 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 blah. They got that dog in them. Yeah. See what happened to them. They got sent home. So, sent home by the Nuggets. Nuggets turned out to be a pretty good team, though. They're legit. They're a pretty good team. Clippers did pick up Reggie Jackson. They also picked up Serge Ibaka, but like I said, we'll take Montrez all day. We'll take Montrez. Thank you very much. And the Suns. The Suns also obviously got a little bit better. Adding Jay Crowder, 3-and-D guy, and Chris Paul. We all know what kind of Hall of Fame player Chris Paul is. That's actually going to help the Suns out. So I think they'll be fine. They're a pretty good team. They were actually the only team that went undefeated in the bubble last year. They still didn't make the playoffs. So the Suns will be fine. They'll be all right. Now, enough of the NBA stuff. We ain't even there yet. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of everything, the NFL. And right now, I'm going to go over some things. And that's the NFL bracket. We're going to start off with that because the playoffs are among us. They're coming up soon. And this is what we have right now. If the playoffs were to start today, this is what we have right now. And I'm going to start with the NFC. Number 1, the Saints, and they would have the first week's bye because of number 1 seed. And remember, this year we have 7 teams per conference in the playoffs this year. So that's a new rule. So they're trying that out. I think it's going to stick. Number 2 seed, Packers. Remember, this is if it started right now. Number 3, the Rams. 4 Giants, unbelievable, because you know how that division is. 5-7. So the Giants are number 4. 5 Seahawks, 6 Buccaneers, 7 Vikings. And now here's your teams on the bubble. All right? This is on the bubble. This is if it didn't start today, which is not, and teams that still have a chance down the stretch to bump into the playoffs or squeeze in the last couple weeks. At the A seed right now, the Cardinals. The Cardinals are in there at the top of the bubble. They can make a run for it. They have a legit chance of making the playoffs. The Bears, I don't know. We'll see. I don't see it. They got a lot to fix on offense. The Lions, the Niners, and the Washington football team. These are all the teams on the bubble in the NFC that could possibly squeeze in. Washington's playing inspired football. They look pretty good. They look strong. I still don't see them making it into the playoffs. The 49ers, they still play strong. They give teams a lot of trouble. Nah, the Lions, definitely not. The Lions and the Bears are the two teams on this bubble that I think don't have a chance to make it to the bubble. They don't have a chance to make it. So, let's go over and swing over. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do something else here. I'm going to go over the teams that they'll face if the playoffs were to start right now. If it started right now, Packers would be at home. Packers will play right now. They play against, I believe we got the Seahawks. No, I'm sorry, they would play the Vikings. The Packers will play the Vikings at home if it were to start right now. The Rams will play the Buccaneers at home. The Giants would be at home against the Seahawks. Now, like I said, if the playoffs started today, those would be the matchups. Those are some pretty good matchups. I don't know how, the Giants, remember, the Giants just beat the Seahawks. So we'll see what happens. All right, switching over to the AFC, and I see I got some callers. I promise I will get to you in 1 second. So, over to the AFC. Here's your top seeds. Number 1, Steelers. Will start today. They have a bye. They would have a bye this week, and they would wait till the next to see the winner of the wild card division, the wild card games, the first weekend. All right. Second seed, Kansas City Chiefs. Like I said before, Chiefs Steelers, they're gonna flip flop as the weeks come along. They're gonna flip flop 1 and 2. Because the Chiefs are just, in my eyes, they are the number 1 team in the AFC, number 1 team actually in the NFL. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, this is started today. Number 3, the Bills. 4 Titans, 5 Browns, 6 Dolphins, and 7 Colts. On the bubble, there's only 2 teams on the bubble in the AFC. Because the AFC has a lot of good teams and a lot of good divisions. They don't have a division like the NFC East, where their leading team is 5 and 7. They don't have that. So there's only 2 teams that have a chance of making it into the playoffs, and that's the Raiders and the Ravens. They have a legitimate chance of still making it into the playoffs. But if it was to start, the first round, it would be the Chiefs at home versus the Colts, the Bills at home versus the Dolphins, the Titans at home versus the Browns. So those will be your first games going up. The Steelers will play the winners of one of those, and on the other side, the Saints will play the winners of the other teams. That's what it will start today. There's a lot of interesting matchups. Anything can happen in the playoffs. You remember how the Giants did it before, right? Giants had 500 record. I think the year they played the Patriots, they didn't have a great record. They went on a little run. They got hot at the right time. What did they do? They ended up taking out the Patriots, who were an undefeated team at the time. So anything could happen in the playoffs. Anything. So these teams get in. That's why you should always fight to the end, even if you have to play spoiler. You should always fight to the end. Look ahead to next year. See what you got. You could always squeeze into the playoffs. When you get into the playoffs, it's mayhem. All right? It's absolutely mayhem. Usually I do a Week 14 preview. I haven't done it last couple of weeks, so I'm going to preview Week 14. As you know, on Thursday we already had a game, and it wasn't even close. The Rams dominated the Patriots 24-3. The Patriots have done stick a fork in them for this year. But I will say, Bill Belichick has done a good job with this team. I mean, he has nothing to work with. We all know what happened with COVID. He had some guys sit out for COVID for personal reasons. And look what he's done with this team. He has them fighting. He has them playing good football. It's just that, obviously, when you run up a team that's a lot more talented overall, talent's going to do it every time. You're not going to be able to overcome that, okay? You're not going to be able to do it. All right, this week we got the Titans at Jags. The Titans need to finish strong. Titans really need to finish strong. They got the leading rusher and Derrick Henry on their team. So they have some good wide receivers to complement them. They don't really air it out. They're not an air-it-out team, but as you know in the playoffs, like you've seen last year, you have to be able to run the football in the playoffs. They have that capability, but they do have to finish out strong. Vikings at Bucks. Vikings had the second leading rusher on the team, Dalvin Cook. They have a right. So, like I said, if it was to start right now, they'd be one of those teams in the playoffs, and this could be a playoff preview right here of the Vikes and the Bucks. So both teams are going to play hard. Both teams are going to get at it, and we'll see what happens. Chiefs, Dolphins, don't sleep. Don't sleep. For all y'all that are thinking that this is going to be a blowout, don't sleep on the Dolphins. The Dolphins have a great secondary. And we already know about the weapons that Patrick Mahomes has. But if you have a great secondary and you can get a little bit of pressure with 4, then, I think you got a chance to get the Chiefs, and Dolphins have that. So that's going to be a close one. I'm going to go with the Chiefs, but it's going to be a close game. It's going to be really close. Next, we got the Broncos at the Panthers. That's an game. We'll see what happens. I can go either way. If I had to choose, I'm going to say Panthers at home, only because they're at home. Broncos aren't very good. Panthers are not very good, but play good for they've been playing good for their coach. They've been playing hard. Too many injuries. Christian McCaffrey's been playing. Well, he's been hurt, or when he played, he's been playing hurt, and he only played one game and got hurt in that game. So I don't see him coming back. They're out of it. They're really not going to do anything this year, but they got something to look forward to. Texans, Bears. I never pick my game. I already told you guys that. I don't pick that team because that's my team. I don't pick against them or for them. I leave that one alone, obviously for emotional reasons. Cardinals, Giants. This is going to be a tough one. Like I said, Giants been playing good. Cardinals, they haven't been playing as well this last couple of weeks. I'm going to go with the Giants at home. And somewhat of an upset, but the way Giants are playing, I wouldn't really call it an upset. But I'm going to go with the Giants on this one. Cowboys at Bengals. Cowboys take this one. They're going to try to finish out the season strong. We'll see what happens. But, it's the Cowboys. But I'm going to go with the Cowboys over the Bengals in a close one. Colts, Raiders, another tough game to pick. I know I've been saying because they're home, I've really thought about that. There's no fans. I'm still getting used to this, guys. There's no fans. So it really doesn't matter. Home field really doesn't matter. I guess what I'm saying is maybe because they have to travel, they have an edge. But, we'll see. I'm going to go with the Raiders in this one. The Raiders are going to want to finish strong down the stretch. I think the Raiders win over the Colts in a close one. Jets, Seahawks. Seahawks in a blowout. There's no mystery here. There's no magic. There's no other way to put it. Seahawks dominate this one easily. Packers, Lions. For some reason, the Lions usually play the Packers tough. And again, they're going to play the Packers tough, but the Packers are going to be too much, and the Packers are going to take that one. Falcons, Chargers. They're playing for Lynn. They're playing for Anthony Lynn. The Chargers are really, really going to try to go out strong for him so he doesn't lose his job. The Falcons have been playing better late. Another tough one, but I'm going to go with the Chargers on this one. In a very, very close game, very competitive game, I'm going to go with the Chargers. I think the rookie plays good. At quarterback, I think he gets run support, and of course he got weapons outside. I think that'll be too much for the Falcons, but it's going to be a close game, and I think they finish out strong for Anthony Lynn. The Washington football team at the 49ers, you all know how the Washington football team, they're playing strong. They're playing strong. So, and the 49ers are playing well down the stretch. It's going to be another close one. It's going to be another good game. I'm going to go with the Washington football team on this one. It's going to be another close one. There's a lot of good games. The slate of games this weekend is win for a good weekend with these games here. They got a lot of good ones, a lot of tough battles on the stretch. But I'm going to go with the Washington football team in this one. Saints, Eagles. Eagles are falling apart. They're really, really, really falling apart. They're going to start the rookie quarterback in Philadelphia. So Carson Wentz has got to sit. So Jalen Hurts is going to go in there, see what he can do. The Saints are the Saints. They're going to dominate this game. The Eagles just don't have what it takes right now. They're not even playing inspired football. Steelers, Bills, tough game. This is going to be a real tough game. Physical. It's going to be a physical AFC game. So, it's going to be cold. It's going to be cold in Buffalo. No fans, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to go with the Bills in this one. Steelers they haven't been running. I think they're like second to last or last in the running this year. So you got to be able to run the football in cold weather. Bills got this one. Ravens, Browns. Browns have been playing a little better. Browns have been playing good football. Ravens, they're coming off a win. They're a little bit of an up and down team for me though. So Ravens, Browns. This could be Ravens on one of those teams on a bubble. Could be a playoff preview. But I'm going to go with the Browns. They do have a little bit of fan sprinkled in there. Probably going to be cold. I'm going to go with the Browns. Now, I'm going to get to some of these calls. See, I got a call here. Let me get to the call. All right, let's see what we got here. You're tuning in to
Hello?
Together with NickGill. Who's this?
This is Kathy Gilliard.
Oh, hi, Mom. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my mother, Kathy Gilliard. First time caller.
Hi,
First time caller. What's going on?
I have a question, though. I have
Sure.
a question about the Buccaneers. Now,
Okay.
do you think that they put too much stock in Brady, like going to the team? Like, do you think they put too much pressure on him, or do you think that they expected too much, like for him to just come in and run the team and, you know, get them further than what they are now?
That's a good question, and I think privately Brady would say that. Obviously, he's going to say all the right things to the media, but I do feel like he's feeling a lot of pressure. I do feel like the organization and the town itself has put a lot of pressure on Brady, considering his age. I know at times he still looks like he can play at a high level,
Right.
But it's been inconsistent because the coach wants him to throw the football down the field every single time, and that's not what he's used to. And in New England, they would throw short passes, or if he couldn't get out to his receivers, he would throw it to a running back. So it was different for him. It's a learning process. So, yeah, I would say that they're putting a lot of pressure on Brady, absolutely.
And another question, do you think that they thought by bringing Gronk, he came out of retirement to go play with Brady again, that might be like the key, you know what I mean? Do you think they thought that once he got back in there and they, you know how they played together, that would turn around the program?
And that's another good question. And yeah, I think you know, Brady gave Gronk a call and he was like, "Oh, you know, let's do this. Let's get it going. Let's do this. We'll be able to pick up where we left off." But you can't you know, leave football and jump back in and think everything's going to work out that way. It doesn't. Guys only get younger. It doesn't work that way. So, like I said, if he comes back another year and Gronk gets another year under his belt, maybe next year they do even better. Not saying they can't do it this year, but I think that's throwing him in the mix. Like that is, you know, it's about chemistry, and not everybody has that chemistry with Brady yet. Just Gronk.
Right.
So it's not always going to work. They need time.
Right. Yep, that was my thought. I just wanted to run it past you and see what you thought.
Well, I appreciate you calling, Ma. I really do appreciate it. You know, those are good questions.
Okay.
Great questions, and thank you for calling.
You're welcome.
All right. Have a nice day.
All right, bye.
Okay, bye. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Kathy Gilliard, my mother, the one who raised me, had some really good questions, some really great questions, and questions we should take a look at, because she's right. Everybody thought, you know, who's going to win the divorce? Is it going to be Belichick or is it going to be Brady? You know, as we're seeing, it's obviously by the record of the Buccaneers, people are going to automatically say it's Tom Brady who won it, right? But what Belichick has done with Les, that divorce, they're both getting money. They're both paying alimony. They're both in the same boat because, you know, in some aspects Brady won, in some aspects he lost. In some aspects Belichick won, in some aspects he lost a divorce. So overnight, Bruce Arians is a different kind of coach than Belichick. So, you know, he wants to air raid offense. He wants to air it out. That's not Brady's style. Not saying Brady can't throw it down the field. That's not what I'm saying, but that's not Brady's style. 1, 2, 3 steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps, get rid of the ball. On rhythm, you know, when you got to wait a second, I mean, if you had more of a mobile quarterback, yeah, he could roll around and then get the ball further down the field to these big play wide receivers. But I think that's why Antonio Brown is a good addition. I know they threw him in, and it doesn't seem to be working, but he can run. If Bruce Arians would just let Tom Brady run some of his offense, he can get those quick throws in and let his receivers run with the football. There's nothing wrong with that either. Let your receivers create big plays. You don't always got to throw it down the field on a jump ball or hopefully you throw it down the field for an untouched touchdown. That's not how it works. Everyone's covered in the NFL. You got to create space. And Brady was good at one thing, is throwing people open. He will throw people open. So it's one of those things. Yeah, I think next year, I think actually the Bucks get better. Not worse. I think they get better. I think Tom plays another year. I think Gronk stays another year. They get better, and they get this thing working, get everything together. They have a full training camp and OTAs, and everybody's there ready to go after this COVID thing. Then we'll really see what's going on. Then you'll really see the work put in. Then you'll really see this thing take off. The NFL next year, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be explosive. NBA, all these sports, right, where everyone now is going to get their full repertoire of workouts and OTAs and training camps, and the off season will be a little short, and they get right back into it. You're going to see an explosion of talent. You're going to see an explosion of offense. You're going to see an explosion of defense. You're going to see the whole repertoire that we've been kind of taking for granted. You'll be able to see it next year where, oh, yeah, this is the football we're used to seeing. Won't be so many injuries because of a shortened training camp. There won't be players sitting out because of COVID-19, hopefully. So, again, got a couple more minutes, 3 minutes left. You want to call in, numbers 563-999-3731. And, yeah, hopefully they'll crown a champion. And this year, obviously, I'm about 98% sure they will. They got this vaccine. I don't know, folks. I don't know about this vaccine. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be one of those things where we got to take it to go to work or the kids got to take it to go to school. I'm just not sure. It's hard for me to trust the situation right now. I'm sure a lot of you feel that way. It's a tough situation all around. It's just everybody's sick and tired of it. We got COVID fatigue. And, yeah, if the test is going to work, and the vaccine is going to work, and the shot works, and people get better, and there's no real ill side effects, which unfortunately you're not going to be able to see in a short period of time. It takes years. That's what nobody's understanding. It takes years for this vaccine to show its true colors and see if there's going to be any real side effects. They just came up with it this year, the year of the disease. I do believe people who have gotten COVID-19 might build up some type of immune to it or some type of antibodies to where they can fight it off. And maybe that's the key. Maybe that's the answer. Maybe we all need to get it. I don't know. And, fight it off, and maybe it won't come back. Maybe it's one of those things. But really nervous about the vaccine. I don't know how these professional athletes feel about it. Guess we'll see. Guess we'll see what happens. So, all right, guys, tune in next week. Got a pretty good show, pretty good interview coming up. And I appreciate you listening to CT Radio with NickGill. And as always, talk to y'all next week. Peace.